Welcome, everyone. This is an interview with Teresa Cameron. My name is Parm, and the purpose of this is to learn more about Teresa's spiritual gifts and talk about her upcoming event in Comox, British Columbia. And the event is going to be taking place this August 26th through to the 28th. So, Teresa, thank you for doing the interview.
Oh, thank you, Parm. Thanks for offering to do the interview.
Can you maybe start off with giving us a quick overview of how you discovered your spiritual gifts and what exactly they are?
Well, when I was born very sensitive. I had a lot of knowings, visual, like the angels would visit, things like that. But that was just always part of who I was. I didn't really distinguish it as a gift or different, or it was just part of my life. When about 4 years ago, I was introduced to meditation, and it had never occurred to me to meditate before. I was going through a period where I was feeling a little bit disconnected from my gifts, and I was actually missing them and had very specifically asked for them to open up again. Meditation was that way, I guess. It was something I had started meditating as going with a friend, and the very first time I actually meditated, I had this huge energy come through me, and I felt this distinct urge to share it. And I just assumed that that was what everybody experienced during meditation. I didn't realize it was something I'll say special. And I loved meditation so much, I kept doing it. And that led me on a journey of understanding that I had my own gifts to share. I didn't know what those gifts were to share, but I knew that they were meant to be shared. I was really finding my way with that. I didn't understand how to share them. I didn't know how to get started. And I, one evening, had an angel came to me and told me it was time for me to understand who I was and that it was time to share my gifts, very distinctly like that. And of course, my thing was, but I don't know what they are and I don't know how to do it. And she just looked at me and said, yes, you do. So I knew I loved meditation, so I started offering meditation. And I think there's 5 people at my very first meditation. And from there, people could feel the energy and started asking me to work on them individually. And could I help with this? And, I never make claims with what people will experience, but I'm always continually humbled and in awe of the results that they get. And it's just it's a very balancing, harmonizing frequency that helps people to make very big shifts in their lives. So what my gifts are, I don't like to label them because I honestly don't think there is a label. On my website and stuff, I put a medium and a healer because people can kind of understand what those mean. But it's really so much bigger than that. That's just a little point of what happens when I connect and share. So So I hope that explains it a little bit. It's kind of really hard to verbalize. It's more of an experience that you have to get. And also just speaking here, the frequencies are coming through. So people listening may actually feel some tingling, some heat, some shifts going on. It's not your imagination if you're feeling that. And even you, Parm, will probably, it's like having a session.
Right. I feel much more relaxed and calm. So would you say for any type of discussion such as this, you almost create a Buddha field of pure source energy, which would bathe current and future listeners in this pure source energy you send out?
Well, it's definitely a peaceful energy. That's the thing. The frequency is very peaceful. It's very harmonizing. does it bathe people now and in the future? Yes, anybody who listens in the future. And it's just the same with any of my recordings. I always recommend people go back and listen to their recordings of their sessions or recordings of the meditations that they're involved in, because the frequency is just as strong. And in fact, it can feel stronger as you move along because you're becoming more in tune. And also my gifts as I'm progressing, I call them upgrades. I get upgraded quite frequently, and I've just gone through a series of very significant expansions and upgrades. And I'm really excited to share those, especially this weekend in person, those events where people get together in a group setting, whether it's online or in person. The energy becomes enhanced. So everybody who's involved not only experiences what I'm sharing, but we all experience what you have to share. And it's a very intermingling, enhancing space.
So when you talk about these intense spiritual upgrades, is that maybe a download of information from infinite intelligence that subsequently we will be getting?
Yes. Yes. So I call them, I kind of get two distinct differences there. There's an energetic upgrade, which allows me to receive these information downloads. So yes, absolutely. In the future, as people upgrade their frequencies by working with Pure Source, the information that you have accessible to you will grow. And as we are more able to accept and just be, that's the thing, the more we come into that alignment, that balance, that harmony, the more able we are to accept more information. Now, do know that oftentimes that information comes in. You know you're getting information. It's beautiful. It's not necessarily conscious. I get it oftentimes in meditation. And I know while I'm in that space, it's very profound and I have to share with everybody. And I can't wait to write a million books because that information's right there. And then when I come out of the meditation, it slips away. So I've really learned not to get worried that I've lost everything that I was given. It's always there when it's needed. And it's part of a growing process. So being open to what's coming, being accepting that I am willing to grow and expand, and be open for those upgrades and those downloads. And everybody right now can make it their intention to connect to Pure Source and grow and expand. It's not unique to me. I'm just here to share and help you. It's almost remind you of where you can grow to, where you can move to, what you have accessible to you.
So it seems like asking is the key.
Asking, making it your intention, asking to receive. Mm-hmm. Making it your intention to be of service really helps because it sets the intention that you're not just keeping it for you, but willing to share it with others.
Right.
And there are certain things that I have, in my experience, found helps me to expand and grow is actually the act of helping other people expand and grow.
Mm-hmm. So you conduct regular group meditations on various topics such as finances. For someone who's fairly new to you, what is the difference between doing a meditation with yourself versus doing one with someone like Deepak Chopra?
Well, I'll just speak for me. I mean, there's some wonderful people out there who have wonderful gifts and are sharing them in big ways. Mm-hmm. Every single person has their own unique gift or signature that they can share, and that includes people that are listening, you. For me, what is unique for me, it may not be specifically unique. I'm sure there are other people out there with gifts like mine. But the energy that flows, it is meant to be shared. It's very balancing. It's very harmonizing. So when I introduce that frequency in a meditation, it helps to connect you higher. It helps to get you more into your own sense of being, who you truly are and what you're meant to share, how you're meant to light up the world or your family or, yourself. When you're meditating connected to pure source, wonderful things can happen. The expansion can happen very quickly, like turbocharging. People have very profound realizations or visualizations or understandings during those meditations. Now, these are just, I'm just sharing with you what I've had people tell me happen for them.
Right.
It is, everybody's unique. Everybody will have different experiences. Some people will have visions immediately. Other people won't feel anything. It is a practice of meditation. And honestly, so long as you are meditating in any way, whether it's a guided meditation with somebody or it's on your own, just sitting, enjoying the wilderness, the ocean, the sky, breathing, asking to connect to pure source, and just surrendering as well as you can, starts you into that shift. You start with intention, raising your frequency. So, whatever works for people. It may be my meditations. It may be Deepak Chopra's. It may be self-meditation. It really doesn't matter so long as you're intending to connect to pure source and just be.
Personally, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and just following your breath, especially if your mind gets really chattery. So, sorry, go ahead, Parm.
No, I was going to say I've done your meditations, and I've done traditional meditations, and I find that it's a really powerful combination of your ability to get us into a really deep state and then combine that healing energy. So it's almost like a new level of meditation has sort of come into this earth with individuals such as yourself. But some people who are listening, they might start feeling their bodies starting to sway and almost dance. What's happening there?
Well, that is those frequencies shifting, those energies shifting. Some people almost immediately will go into a sleep. And I always say not to worry about that. You're still getting the frequencies, so it's still happening. But some people, to be able to receive those frequencies, need to be asleep. Other people will, feel the need to really move their body. And it's just how their body is, I'll say, opening to those frequencies and then coming into harmony. Other people will get agitated when they're meditating. And I always say to those people, whatever meditation that is that's triggering you in ways, it's a wonderful thing actually, because there's something very out of alignment. So for example, I've had people in meditation, one person in particular, it was an abundance meditation, and she actually had to get up and leave the room and vomit. That was how intense the shift was for her. But she was so out of alignment in herself with abundance that when she was actually in that frequency, it took a bit for her body to kind of come more into alignment. So I would say to people, if you're feeling agitated, like you have restless leg syndrome, or you feel like you have to get up and walk around, that's totally fine. But come back and re-listen to those meditations until you can do it in a peaceful state, because it's helping you to shift those things that are out of alignment in your body or in your spirit space or in your emotional space. Some people start crying immediately. And that's beautiful. Those are all energy shifts, and go with it. If you feel like you need to move your body, allow it to move. You're shifting energy.
Mm-hmm. With that process that you just described, individuals releasing a lot of emotions, is that part of the spiritual detox we might feel after we listen to one of your meditations?
Yes. Detox comes in all different forms. When I find that the people that have the most emotional detox are the ones that tend to hold their emotions really tightly, that they don't express them or they don't give themselves time to process them or really totally feel them, that they push them down. Well, at some point, those emotions need to come out to come into balance.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're the type of person that, you don't really feel or express grief or anger or sadness or even joy, it needs to open. It needs to start flowing. That's very much a part of our human experience, is our emotional space. So those are the people that I find to have very emotional detoxes. Some people, their default pattern is to become ill. If things get hard or heavy, or they've been insulted, or somebody's hurt their feelings, or trauma has happened, they become ill, or their body goes into pain. So they may find that they have physical detoxes. Other people may have spiritual things where, past lives may start flashing in front of them, or old ancient knowings start flashing up or coming up and releasing. Don't discount any of that. That is all part of the detox process of coming into alignment. You're becoming enlightened. You're lightening your load. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, it can be very difficult. You can feel like you have the flu, or like you're going into a depression, or that, you're all of a sudden you're hypersensitive with your intuitive senses. When that happens, I always actually get excited, even though I do detox. When I go through and I upgrade, I do get my own detoxes still. But I anticipate what's coming, because I know it's going to be beautiful on the other side of that. It's not necessarily easy to get through, but mm-hmm. when you know that there's a reward, say, or a gift on the other side, it's much easier to focus on that than the physical detox symptoms you may be going through.
Right. So you're almost like a spiritual cleanser, where we get to detox all those pent-up emotions and past life issues out, so that we can slowly start to make that connection to Pure Source even stronger.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Yeah, a spiritual cleanser. I've had people tell me that it's almost like I'm giving them a cleanse. So it's there true. You go.
It's true, because we're told to look inward and connect and meditate, but if we can't get that internal system clean of all these patterns, then it's harder to connect. But you kind of give us a shortcut, not really a shortcut, but a boost in the right direction.
Yes, yeah, that is a wonderful way of putting it. Yes, it is a boost and a faster way to get there, so to speak. So when those stuck patterns, emotions, past lives, family lineage, DNA, when it can be cleansed or cleared really quickly and brought into balance, everything starts coming into a balance. Now, your perception can change, how you feel about people, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about life. Things start flowing more smoothly. You feel things bigger. Life seems brighter. And I'm not saying that nothing else is ever going to go wrong in your life, because we are here for those experiences. But how we react, respond, how we learn to go with them, and instead of going into those old default patterns of reacting first and living in that ego space, we can let that go and just allow things to flow and be and evolve as they're meant to be.
Mm-hmm. And those people who want to jumpstart really their spiritual journey, this coming weekend, you're actually having a Nourish Your Soul event in Comox, BC for 2 days. Could you tell us what your intent for the event is and the potential benefits for the participants?
Well, it's actually Friday evening, Saturday, and then Sunday morning. And so it is 3 days, which is, it's pretty intense for that energy. My intention for this weekend, it came about because I've had a lot of clients really struggling right now, really feeling that there's more out there, but not sure how to get there. Really having a lot of personal stuff coming up, a lot of patterns, a lot of things are repeating, coming up in, and really what that is so you can recognize them. And once you recognize them, it's easier to start letting them go. You don't necessarily have to recognize your old patterns or where your family lineage comes from. You don't have to know that you want to release it. Nourishing your soul, we tend to forget to nourish ourselves, especially people who are givers. And most people who are, I'll say, on the spiritual path, feeling, a bit more enlightened, they're connecting into that universal energetic system that is upgrading and knowing that there's more. But what happens is people get caught in giving, and they give so much that they deplete themselves. And that's not the answer. The answer actually is to nourish yourself so much that you're overflowing with that beautiful energy and that balance, and your light can shine outwards, which helps others to find their light and to find their balance. So rather than giving so much that you deplete, you fill yourself up so much that it's overflowing and goes outwards and can be shared in that way. So really that nourish yourself, nourish your soul, it's starting with you. It's disconnecting from the illusion that we have to continually give so much of ourselves that there's nothing left.
Very beautifully put. So individuals can either attend personally by visiting Comox, or they have the option of calling in. And will those individuals have the option to ask questions? And
Absolutely.
Okay.
I really like participation from everybody. It adds to the group. So when I have it so that you can connect in via the website. It's not a video recording, it's an audio recording. But you can just click a link and you're taken to a website and it's listed in. There's a submit question right on that page. And you just type in your question, hit submit, and I get it. And I have my computer right there. I have a table set up. I can see it when a question comes in. And I always go to the online audience as well. I always encourage everybody. Now, one of the beauties of attending remotely is you may not be able to be there for the whole live event. You may only be able to tune in for a couple of hours on Saturday and Sunday morning. It's all recorded. You get to replay, and so you really don't miss out. There are people that will send in questions beforehand because they know they won't be able to be there live, but they know they'll get their questions answered. And everybody who does attend live will get a copy of the replay as well. So they can go back and listen to the favorite section or the favorite meditation. And it will be a series of talks, question and answers, meditation. And I don't have a set agenda of how it will go. I always just open and it always seems to come through exactly the way it's meant to. So the options of listening in, no matter what, whether you can be there exactly 7 p.m. on Friday night or you can't join until 8:30, you can always go back and listen to the replay. And it's just as effective on that energetic level and just as helpful, whether it's replayed, whether you're live, or whether you're replaying it over and over again. I do have people that listen every day after events or meditations, they re-listen and re-listen and re-listen because they get new benefits every time they listen. So,
I also love the fact that you're going to be offering your 15-minute appointments. I believe it is on the Sunday and Monday.
Yes, it is.
And that's a great way for someone just, even if they want to, and you offer those online as well, if they just want to get a taste of your abilities, it's a quick 15-minute session, and you get to see what you're able to you're able to do for the individuals.
Yes, and people, I do offer sessions up to an hour, but honestly, 15-minute sessions, you can get a lot packed into a 15-minute session. There's a lot of energy shifts that can happen. There's a lot of information that can come through. 15 minutes seems very short, but in reality, there's a lot that can happen in 15 minutes. So yes, people that are attending live can have their 15-minute session if they want to stay, Sunday afternoon, or if they're staying in town on Monday. And you can go online and book a 15-minute session on my booking system. So
that's great. It sounds like I'm very much looking forward to this event. I know when I'm listening to your talks, I am in a deep, deep state of meditation. So can you tell individuals how they can register for this event?
Absolutely. You can go online to my website at teresacameron.com, and on the events page, there is a link that is to register for the live event, and there is also a different link that you can register for the online event. And both of those, it's $247. And that includes, the entire weekend, the replays, and your ability to access me. Now, people often, if you've got something in particular, it doesn't have to be a general question. It can be specific to you. I tend to keep the names anonymous, but if you want your name said, or you want me connecting just by saying your first name, you can include that. And I don't mind if there's something that I'm talking about and you get a question that's very personal to you, absolutely, put it in there, and I will work on you. I will. And working individually on one person also helps the entire group because everybody gets that energy. So, you can go to my Facebook page. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. You can go to my Facebook page. I have an event listed. Also at the top of my page is the link. You can just click on that and it will take you, it's called Nourish Your Soul. It will take you right to the registration page, or take you to the landing page that does have more information on what we will be experiencing over the weekend, and from there you can register.
Perfect. I'm definitely looking forward to the event, so I will see you there.
Well, thank you, Parm. I'm really glad you'll be joining us. And thank you so much for taking the time.